It's right now. You need to get in there. You need to get Oogly. We need to see it, guys. We need to. But we're going to be starting it off with a fight between WBG and Bowder. Peak already having his ultimate ready to go alongside Jing as well. They managed to get that good spawn and land directly on top of those fireflies, and they're able to pick up a kill off the bat already onto Axiao. However, Baige did manage to find those fireflies himself, and he too is now in his ultimate on the Yueishan. And with Bowder having already committed their Viper ultimate, this could be dangerous if they're not careful. The Yotohime as well having their ultimate relatively soon, I think. Relatively soon.
The Yoto was at about 60-70% charge?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, actually, it's a bit more than that now. Almost at 100%, but it's not going to matter. Bowder absolutely rips them to shreds, and WBG are going to have to go and resurrect themselves somewhere else.
As we're taking a start into this game, it's a pretty fast-paced start with these Fireflies coming out as VVV trying to make something happen on the Zai. Sends the F3 out, is going to end up ulting up pretty quickly here with the blue scale and the ult at the start of the game. Is going to be pretty dangerous. Trying to go up against that Takeda ultimate, is going to try and make something happen with those slashes, but the Karumi ult's going to come in just in the nick of time, knocking Han outside of the circle with the F3, able to come away with the kill. We are going to see that Temi ult getting invested from the team of TEJL now, kind of getting caught out in the middle of all of this. Could be in a bit of a sticky situation, but using that ult very well. Is going to have that ultimate end, though, getting parried by TE's Leo. The follow-up from the two members of the of TE is almost going to put VVV on to the ground, but JL, the rest of their team, is going to be able to come through and save them, taking out the entire team of TE, forcing them to go to a soul altar to resurrect. XCG now on the side. They see KLA wanting to engage pretty quickly here. Going to send some range shots off, scaling down the side of the hill. They do have the armor and weapon advantage, it looks like, but they aren't going to want to engage very quickly. Flipping over to the other side of the map, we're going to see Bowda and Alliance starting to go at it. Bowda already with a couple of kills into this game. Lane trying to make something happen with the Dialt. Is going to end up just getting caught out in that Tessa. You're going to see them try and go for the parry. Misses the parry timing there. Is going to end up getting stunned out. A lot of damage coming up with the Zai, and the Zeeping, sorry, is going to be able to do a lot for the heal as Bowda's Jing now taking a lot of damage. They are going to be able to get that Wu Chen port out, saving them in the nick of time, but Alliance still hot in pursuit. Bowda's Jig trying to get a couple pots off before having to re-engage in the fight, but with none of these players with their ultimates except for Peak, it is going to be a risky engage for Alliance.
It is indeed, but they are going for it nonetheless. Lane dropping down with that R&B with the staff, managing to delay the onslaught of Bowder, but unfortunately not enough to be able to save his teammate. However, he is going to be able to catch Jing with that F3, sending him down. He is going to get taken down. Alliance have managed to equalize the fight now, but they are at a health disadvantage. It looks as though Bowder is going to commit to try and get this resurrection, having used that F3 to heal up just a little bit and to prevent the engagement with the grapples from Alliance. But Bowder, Yeron finding a parry. Very nicely done, but Alliance are still going. They have that zipping ultimate to keep them topped up, and now Lane has used that Zai ultimate as well. Yeron now is going to get caught up by this off of Bo's stagger, effectively keeping him locked down. Looks as though they are going to be able to find... They did find this res as well. Or perhaps Jing, as opposed to waiting to get rezzed. Yeah, I think he rezzed himself here, and it looks as though Revenge has done exactly the same thing. They've called for the salty run back, and they are accelerating in this fight. They're trying to make something happen. The Viper ult now coming out from Peak. They are going to be able to combine it with that Tessa ultimate onto Alliance Bo as well, and he is going to be taken down. Alliance now in a bit of a bad spot. The third party's going to come through from J-Team as well. Revenge extremely low, trying to disengage Yeran, now getting focused down by J-Team's Lee in that ACOS ultimate. Does get caught by the Hang Sword, but ooh, it's not going to matter, and he's going to take him down. Alliance Lane, though, is going to be the one to snipe away the kill. And now Lane met with the claws of Lee. They are going to be able to pick up that kill, but unfortunately only picking up 2 eliminations from this third party when they could have had a little bit more. But
Doesn't matter.
nonetheless,
They're on the board.
They're on the board. Scoreboard. They are going to be coming away with 2 kills. Starting off not too shabby, but just keep the ball rolling, boys. What?
Best game of the day so far.
Yeah,
I do say so myself.
Absolutely. 5-2-1 on their Transformers. Looking to scale up. They do have a kill. They do have 2 purple armors, though, which is the main thing, I would say, as traditional Transformers. We say it all the time. They want to be able to scale, and they are doing just that.
And it's good to see them getting that scale in early because even though it has become a bit easier to scale up in these final areas, especially with the addition of the new the new additions into the game where you can capture the spirit well in the middle of the games and get that scale up in the loot. Having it early is always going to give you a huge advantage, especially when these other players aren't as scaled up in these early games. EWG going for that key strat, unlocking the little Morris Blessing inside the stash, using the Bane's Breath to prevent them from taking any damage or having any team aggress onto them. It would be a very big mistake to try and jump into this with the Bane's Breath bursting down. Being in such a confined area, it'll be very difficult. So they're going to be able to get a couple of purple armors. They've got a gold jade as well. It could be interesting to see how they're going to be able to capitalize onto that. CXZ now looking like they're going to come with a counter Bane, trapping them in here, and this could be interesting. Getting all of these, we do see the mushrooms coming into play as well, forcing EWG to ult inside here. It's going to be difficult as the mech is going to actually get stuck on the inside, forcing to get dropping out of the mech. Bane's Breath coming huge into play as well, ladies and gentlemen, as KLA just putting in so much work to come away with these kills. The Matari ultimate coming out. XG is going to go down, but some of these KLA players are going to need to back off as the Yodo ult coming out, as well as the Yushan, making it a little bit more difficult for them to come away with any of these eliminations. We see EWG's 14 now just getting sharked on by all of these players and is going to go down. They're not able to come away with the 3rd kill. 9 is able to get away with that Yushan ultimate. And EWG does have the resurrections with just the nick of time. Look at that. Resurrections are going to be taken off of the board just as those 2 players go down.
Indeed, that is so unfortunate. The counter Bane coming through. Do you think it was planned? You know, they were like
definitely premeditated there.
They buy the Bane. Okay, let's wait on this cave. If somebody comes and opens it using their Bane, we'll Bane them right afterwards and jump them while they're still looting. Very nicely done by that team. But again, we're moving on over to 5-2-1 in the zone now, doing a little bit of shopping, having been aggressed onto. Ooh, Bowder looking to try and do a little bit of griefing here. J-Team's Ice just manages to make it into the realm of Yang. Only just, though. Thankfully for him, he didn't need to use his cooldowns. Sure. Yeah, very, very close. Now met with J-Team. J-Team, though, all on those blue armors up against 2 players with purple armor. And not only that, but it's GG and Ice getting taken down very low, forced to use that Yueshan ultimate. J-Team's Lee saving his A-class ultimate for the moment, it seems. ZYI with the F3s doing work. This F3 on the ferry, I have to say, is a lot of fun to use. And if you can get really good at it, you can use your bow or your musket afterwards, immediately after you get that silence, and get a cheeky bit of damage off of that F3 confirmation. Now GG with that monk ult getting oogly. We're gonna see them throwing hands, trying to catch J-Team here, but unfortunately the pillar's in the way and is making it extremely difficult for him to actually get any of these grab confirmations. However, J-Team's Lee has been taken down very low. CJS is also extremely low. but he does manage to turn around with the jump LMB and take him down, and now it looks as though JT might be cooked. They do take down CJS. ZYI in that Ferrier mech. He's getting bursted by these spear RMBs, and there it is. He is knocked out of the Ferrier mech with that F3, manages to use it. The parry comes through onto LXM. Is this the 1v3? He gets the kill, though. Now it's a 1v1, but the RMB's going to come through from that pulse sword. Another parry comes through. Oh, my lord. The 1v3 potential. He manages to stall out an unwinnable situation to a point where it's actually a draw in the realm of Yang. Beautifully done.
We're on the board,
team.
ladies and gentlemen.
You
said they needed a miracle. A miracle is happening. It might not all be going J-Team's way, but they're doing the right things. They're climbing back up, and they were just within a second. They got the parry. They would have, if the punish would have been able to go off, they would have won the 1v3. Absolutely insane. Just a little bit more time needed. Fortunately, that's why we have the timer in the realm of Yang. So we are going to take a look at the replay on the other side. Sleepwalker versus 521 versus WBG. It looks like we're going to see a pillar drop coming out from WBG. Yin popping that Kurumi ultimate right away, taking out Baiji pretty fast. Losing their Yushan in this situation is going to be very dangerous for them, as we're going to see Pampy coming out with the ultimate, almost getting the grab onto Aixiao. Aixiao looks like it is going to go down pretty quickly here. We are going to see the Yoda ult coming out from Sleepwalker here. That's the last ditch effort from Team WBG. Not able to have too much come away with it. Going to get caught in the monk grab, and 5-2-1 coming away with a triple amount of kills. 3 kills onto the board more for them. And winning that Realm of Yang, giving themselves the coveted Vermilion's Birdmite buff. As we are going to see JL respawning pretty close to WBG. It looks like they might egress onto each other very quickly here. They both do need to get themselves a Soul Bloom. Otherwise, they will be out of this game for good. Zyult invested right away. We're going to see the Z-Ping F come out and do a lot of healing, putting in so much work for the team. As we're going to see Sleepwalker getting focused onto, as VVV is going to end up backing off into the zone here as Baiji on the Yushan, doing a lot of work at creating a good amount of space, but we're going to see OUG on the Ballista Tower coming in and putting in some work, griefing all of these players struggling to try and get these Soul Blooms. And it looks like these teams are going to be forced to back off, as OUG does have the Vermilion Birdmite, so they are going to be safe if they do end up going out into this fight here. Whereas Baiji going out pretty quickly here. OUG gonna grief the bloom away from JL. JL now in a very tough situation, caught out in the wisp. Team doing a decent amount of peeling for them, but One Fang trying to go for that ultimate into the other. We're trying to see to the Z-Ping ultimate, trying to save their life there, but doing not enough to be able to put in too much. TXJ and VVV going very dangerously low. F3 forced out onto VVV, but OUG Sinew is going to pick up the kill. Cavalry Room just dealing so much damage.
Indeed. And OUG, even though they do have this Vermilion Birdmite, it is not going to last forever. And it has finally expired now, and they are going to have to make their way into the zone. I'm not sure which direction it actually is. It doesn't show me on the map just there, unfortunately, but I think they have quite a ways to go, as they're still very far away. They're going to have to make a run for it. We don't want to see them dying to the zone, as we saw a team die in that way earlier. Oh, we've got XCG up against GG here, and TE looking to get involved as well. NightHQ having lost all of his armor and half of his health, getting caught by the Tumult ult and being chased down by TE's Han, coming in with this Takeda ultimate, is going to be able to find that elimination. WBG Xiao actually going down to that zone damage. Is it going to happen again, ladies and gentlemen? Let's hope not. 5-1 now, up in Sunwing's rest, having had their Kurumi's ultimate forced out in an engagement here. Doesn't look as though anything's going to come of it. I think we're gonna be vibing for the moment. 5-1 going over to this shop. They do have quite a bit of money to spend, and they have a Realm of Yang portal very close by, so they might be able to jump right into that if they choose to do so. GG though, still with this Yang depletion, less than 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2-1. And unfortunately for GG, they are going to be going down to that Yang depletion. One of the worst ways to die. The worst. It just feels so bad to die to Yang depletion, actually. One of the worst feelings in Naraka, unfortunately. But it does happen, especially now with the Soul Bloom changes, making it so that you can't store them up in after having killed a team. It's just, it's rough. It is rough indeed. However, it is what it is. It is the risk that you take when you go into Realm of Yang now. KLA, though, up against EWG and Alliance coming in for third party, able to pick up a kill onto XG. QGG with this staff doing so much work, the jump LMBs, the LMB tech chase coming out onto Alliance Bow, the F3 now coming down, locking him up and eliminating him. Alliance losing a member already. KLA on point here, looking to try and chase down the remaining members of Alliance, but unfortunately, as Alliance also have a Matari, they're not able to get those grapple confirmations without aiming them, unfortunately. Now EWG getting back involved. KLA, QGG is just going to catch him out of the air with the Zai F3 into that Zai alt tech chase, and he is just going to get eliminated.
This is a very beautiful tech chase coming out there. I've never seen the F3 used in such a textbook fashion, knocking him off the tree, and then this the tech chase with the ultimate. Absolute perfection coming out as Lane, the last remaining member of Alliance, getting sharked down by 5-2-1 right now. The other members were taken out by KLA, and Lane is going to go down to 5-2-1's Pappy and his golden longsword with that jumping LMB. Doing so much damage, and the chase that you get off of that is also very, very deadly. Taking a look at our scoreboards right now, we've got 8 kills for OUG, 6 for KLA, 6 for Alliance, 6 for 5-2-1 as well. And then in the other side, we've seen TE with 3, Bauda with 5, and WBG still on the board with 1. And I'm pretty sure the J team might have 1 member still alive on the team. I'm not 100% sure, but they do have a couple of kills up on the board for themselves, so at least they didn't have another 0 point or 0.5 point game for themselves. Alliance, only 1 remaining member. Bauda has 2 members left, and WBG only with 1 member as well. So a lot of these teams not at full strength. Sure to be a very interesting final circle. With so many of these teams weaker, we're going to see a lot of kiting, a lot less full aggro from these teams with only 1 or 2 players. So hopefully one of these teams that's, at full strength is going to be the ones to come away with this. Usually what happens in these situations, OUG getting completely uncontested for this Spirit Well here, as they're going to be able to come away with the capture in just a second here, as it looks like the meter goes down. This is the confusing part for me, is I think the first little bit of that capture, you're able to go into that outside circle, but when it goes down to the very end, you need to get into that small area where Sinew is now holding, and they're taking their sweet time. I think they might be trying to bait some other players into trying to come and contest this, leaving it open for as long as possible until the storm fully takes away the items, so that they can come capture it and not have any of these other players get the rest of the loot that they decide not to take.
I'll tell you what it is. I think they were waiting for their Draco Storm to expire so that they could get the buff from this Spirit Well.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I think that might have been it, actually, yeah, because you can't have multiple buffs at the same time. So they were waiting out their Draco Storm so that they could get the White Tiger's prowess from this Spirit Well. And unfortunately, they also managed to bait Bauda's Jing into coming in and trying to grab that Rebirth Charm from the Spirit Well and grab that loot, but unfortunately he does get spotted out, immediately aggressed on by all 3 members of OUG. They absolutely cook him. Yeran now, the last remaining member of Bauda, is going to be forced to use that Wuchen teleport into the zone, though. I think he probably could have gone for that resurrection, actually, but instead, he opts to go for the heal, go for the safer play, and not bother trying to get this res, as if that team had turned around and spotted him, he would definitely have been dead for sure. So probably the safer play, opting to go into the zone, heal up, and try and survive as long as he can going into this end game. transitional period. We're going to be having a lot of teams just rotating around, looking to scale up. Pampy, though, with that golden longsword and golden armor, speaking of scaling up, this team has definitely done a very good job of doing exactly that. Having all good armors, scaled weaponry, and decent soul jades as well on the traditional transform is exactly what you want. KLA looking pretty solid as well. They do have a golden jade on CXZ. I'm not sure if they're actually going to be able to make use of it. As we've seen last game, the MVP player having a golden jade, but not even using the jade itself with the respective weapon, as they didn't have a good enough rarity of that weapon to be able to make full use of it. Looks as though Bowder's Yeran may have found the rebirth here, actually. Luckily for Bowder, they are going to be able to get that rebirth charm and resurrect Jing here. But still, with white armor, he is going to have to try and loot up. But for now, 19 players left alive, 8 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock. A lot of these teams looking to see if they can poke a few of these the teams that they bumped into, especially if they have blue armor. OUG have found Yeran is not looking good for them yet again. They're able to eliminate a player from Bowder. Bowder's Jing actually, he's holding onto this ceiling. Is he gonna get spotted though?
These teams are getting pretty active. For 8 minutes left in the game, we usually see a lot more of a calm, ranged gameplay, but OUG just getting active, trying to eliminate anybody's
they're trying to push
chances
them off this spirit
of
well.
getting into... Oh, it looks like, yeah, they might be trying to go for the spirit well here. It was like they're getting so aggressive, man. This is usually the time where these players back off into this end game. It's usually our mid-game lull that we see, but OUG just bullying 5-2-1 off of the point here and capturing this spirit well all for themselves is Alliance's revenge. Last remaining player on this team. We see the jumping LMB into the jumping RMB coming away with the elimination. KLA's QGG picking up the kill onto Alliance's revenge. That longsword just putting in so much work. Those jumping LMBs just doing so much. OUGU now picking up another gold armor for their team, having 2 gold armors and 1 purple with all these golden weapons, and Jades is going to give them a very good time. Oh my goodness. Is he going to find him? Is he going to find? No, he doesn't. Bowder's Jing does not know how lucky he is to be alive right now. OUG checking the other hut, but deciding to just let that interior of that one go. You know, they said it's cool, whatever. As these other teams are going to try and see if they can get some of the remains of the spirit well that Team OUG has captured. TE coming in, as it looks like WBG getting sharked out. All of these solos that had 1 to 2 players left on the team, they're getting sharked out pretty early. We're thinking maybe they would be kiting to that final stage, but it looks like they're all going to get taken out pretty quickly here, as BiG now getting aggressed on by almost every single team in the lobby right now. OUG hot in pursuit, ultimate almost gone, so as soon as he gets out of this ult, it's going to be pretty much lights out for him. He gets to the top as the random Bane comes out. It's going to play a little bit into this situation, giving BiG a little bit of an advantage, but he gets hit by the Bane once. Not a very good standing to be in right now. He's going to try and go for the pot. Ooh, tap dodges perfectly to avoid that Bane, but he's still in range of getting hit. You doing a good job as well at tap dodging. But those 2 players, WBG... Oh, Bowder's Jing is going to go out here.
Oh, no.
Really quickly. And the last remaining solo is going to be the player of WBG. Hopefully able to get a bit of a reset and going to try and kite it out. It might happen, it might not. I think it's BiG on the Yushan that we're seeing there. J-Team actually with their full team alive. Back into this game. They do have 4 kills on the board, so who knows? Getting active right now onto QGG as well. KLA coming out. No ult zone has been popped, so they are going to try and just hold the perimeter of that. Little do they know that BiG is waiting in the wings there. Could go for an easy, quick elimination onto him, but they're not going to be able to find him out, as J-Team's Ice just kind of holding with the ult. Sees the Soul Bloom here, is going to try and go for that really quickly. Able to get a little bit of charge left on the ult, and a bit of a reset back without having to use too much of their resources. BaiG just holding still, not getting caught out. And I just find it absolutely amazing how no one's found him yet.
Yeah, actually, he's still alive, and that's the thing with these Moonbanes in the end game. They do like play into the favor of some players, and then they absolutely just completely ruin the game of other players. It's such a flip as to whether or not you're actually gonna get any value out of it. But oh my good lord, J Team getting absolutely cooked by this Aurora Burst, already losing J Team's ice, unfortunately, and Lee forced to use his ultimate, jumps in and just gets blended. What on earth was that? J Team, they were looking alright. I mean, yeah, they had blue armors, but still, just getting absolutely rinsed by these dual halberds, unfortunately, just getting cooked. Jesus. And we thought it was possible, Seb, but J Team, unfortunately, they do it again. Do they still have a player alive? I can't
Z
tell.
is still alive in the corner.
Oh, he's still going.
Area. No ult available. Is going to get caught out pretty quickly here, as these things usually go like that. Z going to get sharked out only on that blue armor as well. It's going to be very difficult for him to kite this out, as we've seen. Even BaiG ended up going down. So he will be placing... there's 1, 2, 3, 4 full teams left and himself. So he will be placing 5th, getting them a little bit better placement, and they do have 4 kills, so they will have, this will be their best game to date, but hopefully they'll be able to maybe get 4th or 3rd place even, if they're able to kite out for even longer. Lots of these teams are focusing on the team fights rather than fighting the one solo player, especially if they're not paying attention to him. But as I say that, they are going to be forcing Z to mech up really quickly, and now they're going to become the target of the whole lobby, taking so much burn tick damage as well, is getting in a lot of trouble, as well as 5-2-1 Cloud taking a lot of damage as from the turret, actually, of ZE, trying to make some damage happen. Wasn't able to come away with the kill, but is going to see if they can make something happen into there. Cloud able to get just a little tiny bit of a reset off, is going to come away with the kill. ZE getting at least 1 exit frag before coming into this game. 5 kills on the board for J Team, but now this is kind of where it's going to end for him. He's able to pick up, I think, a Soul Bloom here or an armor swap to be able to still kite it out and being still alive into this game. Great job for him to be able to do that, as Pampy now in a lot of trouble, getting dangerously low, caught out by all of these repeating crossbow shots. TE's Leo is going to be the one to pick up the kill. TE getting to 6 in the game. OUG on 11 eliminations. KLA's QGG going to use that F3 to create some space from OUG's U, who's just on his demon time right now. No pun intended, ladies and gentlemen. OUG's U with the gold pole sword in hand. Takeda ult active. You've seen it before. You'll see it again. Oh my goodness, the Hepta coming up from TE's Han. Able to put a little bit of pressure more. We're going to see the follow-up trying to come through on the RMB from OUG's. We're able to get the 1.0 off onto a group of players here. Huge parry onto TE's Han. Tries to jump into the air with that F1, is going to end up backing off, and now OUG are going to cook here, ladies and gentlemen. TE's Han trying to make something happen, but just getting sharked down. OUG's SS is going to be able to come away with the kill there. Karumi ult coming out at the perfect time. KLA's CXZ is going to go down. So is J Team's ZE. OUG picking up all of these kills. And with 6 players remaining, KLA and TE both down a couple of members. OUG at full strength. This is OUG's game to lose.
Absolutely, but it's also their game to win, Seb, and they are on track to do exactly that. The Golden Pulsar doing so much work in the hands of OUG's U. He's just running around, just like, projecting terror into the souls of all of these players. KLA 17S, he's next. The Furin Blast coming through, preventing him from being able to parry. And the pole sword with that blue focus RMB is just going to obliterate his health bar. Does get a cheeky parry here, delaying the inevitable though, and OUG are going to come away the MVPs of our game number 5